You want to do an interview? You don't have to say who your name is, but...
What's it about?
It's show and tell.
What do you got there?
Now read the second paragraph.
You mean 7?
Yep.
You have a copy of the right to know law.
Yep. I told you they had body cam.
You can't have Social Security and drivers. They have the new confidentiality statutes. I can't even file a custody thing. I have to redact that. Yeah, that's... All right.
I did a right to know.
Now, the thing you have about... is that on? All right, well... The only thing I'd say about the reason why they don't give out discipline and demotion and discharge is if it were open to the public, then they wouldn't do it. I'm more familiar with peer review factors. You know, if you're suing somebody for malpractice and you want to look at peer review, they said you can't get it because we peer review so that we can be honest amongst ourselves. So
I thought every police officer's disciplinary, anything that they've had problems with is
subject to subpoena, but there's another step. You're going to have a lawsuit, you're going to have a docket number, and you're going to have to subpoena it then. Are you setting up a pro se lawsuit?
I'm not sure what to do at this point, but they didn't give me...
This is curious. They directed you to David Freed, who's...
Yeah. Who's not even there anymore. Yeah. And notice how they didn't even close out the case. I was found not guilty. Notice how they don't put anything about that in there.
That would be the police thing. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just looking at it. I didn't glass it. Where does your criminal case stand?
I had a jury trial. I was found not guilty.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You know what it costs to expunge my record? And I'm the victim.
Well, you can do an expungement on an acquittal pro se, but there are filing fees. How much did it cost?
They say it's $155.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to get a PA background check. State police.
Yeah.
Well, why am I paying for this?
I mean, you're asking for the expungement. Hey, listen. 5 years ago, you couldn't do that. I mean, the expungement laws are slowly being changed.
Well, what legal rights do I have as far as filing false arrest or anything like that?
If he had probable cause to arrest you and it was information received arrest, in other words, the cop didn't see anything, he saw somebody claiming this, so he arrested you on information received,
yeah, that's the problem.
Is you'd have to prove bad faith on the cop, and from what I knew about the case, I didn't see any bad faith.
When we had that guy, that John Bomwig on the stand, I had 140 pages of those text and email pages. You remember those?
Yeah.
He couldn't even recall that I sent him a text message. That's how bad it was.
Well, he answered him, didn't he?
Yeah. So what we did, we read them off. And he goes, I don't remember even saying this. The guy is suffering.
Who was your public defender?
McCabe.
So he came out down here. He did a good job prepping. He did a good job.
I did his job. All the information to do his job.
Oh, listen. The public defender has, I think, one investigator, and they're basically focused on the felonies, and so when you're doing a trial as a public defender on a misdemeanor, you do your own work. So anything you helped him really, is accepted. Probably willingly accepted. I haven't been a public defender since the mid '80s, and I did a lot of trials where you have to rely a little bit on defendant and defendant's family.
I believe that guy's suffering from I talked to other people.
You mean the alleged victim?
Yeah, that he's actually having like suffering from schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia is a psychosis. That would be evident. Maybe he's got, you know, a paranoid type thinking, but that doesn't mean he's schizophrenic. Schizophrenic
well,
is a mystery.
I don't know.
Well, check the DSM-5 for schizophrenia is an axis 1 mental illness. But you know, there are a lot of people that have paranoid.
He went off on the judge, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the trial. I've just been so damn busy. So speaking of which, I got to get back to. But congratulations on the trial, and now you're doing a pro se case against Carlisle Police. Is that going to be a civil rights violation?
I didn't say I was doing that. What had happened to me, which I was going to tell you, I went down to the Lebanon County Courthouse to do a story on the commissioners' meeting because it's filmed in the courthouse. And
what's filmed? Each commissioner's...
Jo Ellen Litz, she does her own recording of the whole of the meeting, and she just had they had a discussion like a week earlier. I'm not sure what the date of the video, but they had a discussion about her videoing and her editing the committee meetings. They were concerned about some things, and she addressed them, and she talked about the First Amendment. That's why I was going down there.
Well, the editing is if you edit and put something out of context, the only way, your only true defense is you got to save the full tape.
Yeah, but she said that she doesn't really edit it that much anyhow, unless there's a big pause or something like that. But so I ended up going down there, so now I'm getting to my story. So I did some up footage of the outside of the building, and I was walking through, and the security lady said, put your phone and put your phone in the tray, and I had a tripod with me too. So I put the tripod down, and then I was putting my down, and then the officer that was outside that greeted me, he came behind me and said, give me your phone. I said, no. And then I started asking him a question. I think I was saying, why did we change the Constitution?
This is down in Lebanon.
Yeah. And then I was attacked by him and 5 to 8 sheriff deputies in jail for a day and a half. That's how I got this on my face. Yeah. So as soon as they had me on the ground, he was on top of me, and I said, I'm a journalist. And he goes, well, you should have told me that earlier. And then I just had my shoulder operated on.
I know you had a shoulder.
Yeah.
How are you a journalist?
I'm an independent journalist now.
So what, are you putting this just on blogs? Or
blogs and stuff. And if someone would pick something up, you know what I mean? But, yeah. And so then, as soon as they dragged me up, I say, I want this guy arrested. I said, I want your names and badge numbers. I want to know who you are. And of course, they denied me all my rights. I said, you violated my First Amendment rights. You violated my... I named off everything. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm curious why you were incarcerated. You weren't in contempt of an order per se, so it wasn't a civil contempt. So
they charged me with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest.
Okay, and were you released when they set bail?
Well, what they did to me is they kept me in the holding cell. I pleaded the 5th. Then they said I was uncooperative because I pleaded the 5th. I said I want an attorney, the whole 9 yards. So then they had a judge come over and do like a conference thing.
Well, that's a preliminary arraignment.
Yeah. And then he goes...
When you say judge, you mean a magisterial district judge? In other words...
No, I thought it was a magisterial district judge, but it ended up being, if I looked at the paperwork, it's like one of the judges. And then, so what happened to me is they came on they did like a video conference, and he goes, since you're uncooperative, I'm setting your bail at $10,000 and you're going to get out next Thursday. And this was Thursday. And so then they hauled me off to the prison, and I'm in there for like maybe 5 to 8 hours. I can't remember. and I'm still not talking, saying I want the fifth.
It'd be a good idea to know who that judge is.
Yeah, I have it listed. And then, so what happened is then this Becky Jones comes over, and she tells me, I have some paperwork for you from the district justice or the attorney's office, and they're going to release you ROR. You have to sign these papers. And then they tormented me all night long, banging my cell, and did all kinds of stuff because I wouldn't comply with their processing procedure. I still wanted a lawyer, the whole 9 yards. And so, yeah, then I eventually got out, and so that was the whole story. Then I had my first preliminary with the district justice. They had everyone in the auditorium in the basement of the Lebanon County Courthouse. And they had a panel of 3 district magistrate judges with little separations in between them, and they brought everyone up to there, and then you would like plead your thing, and I continued my case and the whole 9 yards. But yeah, it was a complete zoo. And the first person I ran into there, I said, what are you here for? And he goes, oh, this place needs to be exposed because it's just out of control.
Who was that?
Just someone I had met that was standing in line. There was like 250 people standing in a line. That's how bad it was.
Okay. Doing about 3 things at once here because you're walking. Well, you know, like the fall
Interesting.
in Lebanon. I used to go down there a lot. I don't anymore. I don't travel. Remember, I told you since I've gotten to be an older member of the bar. I only go to 3 counties now, but I know how Lebanon works, and I've been through that magnometer.
Well, that guy slammed me. He slammed me to the concrete, and I have a concussion from that whole thing. I've had constant headaches.
Well, but when you say you have a concussion, make sure you have a doctor who says you have a concussion. Don't self.
I'm on my 3rd doctor telling me I had a concussion at this point.
Well, good luck to you.
Yeah.
All right, but I got to get back to what I'm doing here.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to decide how I'm going to give you a review here. I'm curious how I'll give it to you. What do you want me to give you as a review at this point?
A review of what?
Of your services.
Well, I wish... Well, I mean, I followed up with what you were doing, but it came down to the fact that you wanted a trial and you really didn't have the funds for a private attorney, and you were, just by judging from the end results, you were absolutely right in what you were saying.
Well, the thing is,
but
I never tell a lie. That's the whole thing. I've done that all my life. So it's just a matter of getting the truth out.
So my review would be incomplete. How I'd review it. But I'm certainly glad for you personally that it came out this way in Cumberland County.
Yeah. Okay.